moved and seconded to accept the legislative priority report. Here we go. Resolution number 1. Any amendments? Any amendments?
No.
Parliamentary inquiry. David Hamilton, SD 13. Can we make a formatting motion for the whole thing to start with?
Yes.
Okay, so I move that the formatting be, we call upon the 85th Texas Legislature, next time 85th? Yes, 85th Legislature to, at the top, and then have 1 through 5 complete that sentence. That makes sense?
Read the delegates.
May I make a
Madam
suggestion?
Chair, I move on number 1.
To define we, the delegates of the 2016 Women's President Convention.
Okay. So moved. I like the teamwork.
Madam Chair, I move that on number 1. We start with to enact legislation and we move the first part. And it's beginning with enact, I'm sorry.
Without objections, we're making those changes. Is there any objection to this formatting? Okay, any objections? Okay. Now we're on number 1. Abolish abortion.
Madam Chair, I move that we begin with enact legislation stopping monopolization.
Restate your motion clearly.
I move that on number 1, we begin with the word enact and through the end, remove the first part of that.
I can already see 18 second.
Oh. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Yes, we have a second. Any discussion?
Each got, I believe, SC 11. So did we just lose the word abolish? No, no. Yeah.
We lost it.
I made the amendment.
And trustee?
David Hamilton, SD 13. Can we change the beginning of the sentence to abolish abortion by enacting legislation?
Romans 9, SB 17.
Two stop.
Second.
Do we have a motion and a second? What do you want her to write? Enacting? Okay.
Two stop. Sorry, where it says stopping, replace stopping with two stop.
This is an amendment to the amendment. Any discussion? We're voting on this amendment to the amendment. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The amendment passes. Now we're back on the amendment. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Number 2.
H. Scott Eppley, SD 11. I would like to amend number 2 to begin with. In light of the refusal of the federal government to secure the southern border of Texas, we expect the Texas legislature to. And so you start the sentence with that, and then strike light of the refusal of the federal government to secure the southern border of Texas, we expect the Texas legislature to, and then you can eliminate everything up to May, yes.
Do we have a second?
Steve Armor, Rescue 5, I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Dramatic change, I think the A has to have a, get
Yeah, I understand.
Damon and Steve?
Item also SD 20. Just for consistency, we're starting at the top with saying we, the delegate, gets blah, blah, blah. Call upon the legislature to, so it needs to be a continuation of that sentence. I suggest we maybe start with the verb make, or, and then I like the addition presented by Scott, but added, I'm not sure how to word that. We need to fix that.
secure the southern border.
Perhaps make it a priority of allocating funds, starting in comma, in light of the refusal of the federal government, something like that.
We're gonna have to be specific so we can type it in.
Alan Arbello, SD 31, I'm making a motion to amend the amendment to make it say, to start with make a priority of allocating funds. Or maybe it'd be easier to say just to move that in light of, that'd be better.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
Secure.
Okay, let me start over my motion. I'm sorry, I didn't read that. Okay.
Start with secure.
The amendment, make an amendment to the amendment to move the phrase, in light of the refusal of the federal government to secure the southern border of Texas.
To remove that? Oh, do you want us to remove that?
No, I want it in there,
You want it-
but we need to start with make. After necessary. And then, we expect the legislature to out. Because that's, go lead, yeah. Think a priority about. It's a little bit, just, but I think if we pass it now, the amendment to the amendment, then someone can make another motion to clean it up a little bit better. Sure. You can approve the amendment to the amendment to get this far, and someone make another
Is there
motion.
any objection to the amendment to the amendment? Hearing none, so ordered. Back to the amendment. Any discussion? Call the vote.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair,
Like a wordsmith?
we have to wordsmith, the
Okay.
A is not proper, should be answered.
Give us your,
It should be make it a priority.
At this point, do I make another amendment? Because we passed that amendment to the amendment, so do I make another amendment to the amendment?
yes.
Okay, Alan Arbella, SD 31, I make an amendment to the amendment to strike make a and change the word priority to prioritize the allocation of.
Is there an objection? Not so
Chair.
Yes.
I don't have a motion, but the sentence that in the light of the refusal of federal government to secure the southern border of Texas, I like it, but it's in the middle of that sentence, and I don't think it works. I just want to read it out loud, but I think better out loud. Can the secretary scroll down just a little bit so we can see the header information? I'm sorry, scroll up, there we go. We, the delegates of the 2016 Republican Party of Texas State Convention, call upon the 85th Texas Legislature to prioritize the allocation of funds to effectively secure the border through whatever means necessary in the light of the refusal of the federal government to secure the southern border of Texas, including but not limited to barriers, personnel, and technology over land, sea, and air. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a good answer as to how to fix it, but the parenthetical statement in the sentence doesn't work.
Hey, Judge, Alan Arbello, SC 31.
Yes.
We still have an amendment, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I make another amendment to the amendment
Okay.
to take the phrase, in light of the refusal of the federal government to secure the southern border of Texas, and give it its own sentence.
Yes.
At
No,
the
stick
end.
it at the end.
Or stick it at the end.
Say comma because in place of, in light of.
Hi, everyone. So this is a nightmare, and everyone is just one person at a time who's making the actual motion. Thank you.
Everybody one at a time. You don't want to upset her. She's our scribe. Please. We need her happy. She needs to come back tomorrow.
I can rescind my motion if someone.
Steve Armbruster, SB 5.
Yes, Steve?
I move that we strike the words in light of.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We strike the words in light and replace them with the word because, and then move that entire parenthetical sentence from the word because to the end of the southern border of Texas. Move it to the end of the paragraph. Put a comma after air. There. I move that.
See how well that worked out?
Is there any objection?
I don't think you need a comma after air.
Okay, I will accept that.
Without objections?
I have an objection to say, because the federal government refuses to. And get rid of those, yes, all of those ofs. Because the federal government refuses to.
There's
Is there any objection?
comma after air.
Got a second?
There shouldn't be a comma after air.
Okay, we'll fix that. Is there any objection to that? Hearing none, so ordered. Back to the amendment. All in favor of this as the final plank, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Number 3. School choice. Any amendments? Any amendments? Hearing none? Oh, okay.
Yes, I move that we strike everything up to support.
Um,
To
enact legislation to.
enact school choice legislation, so enact school choice legislation, and at the very beginning, so start with enact. Two is in the previous clause, so just start with enact. School choice legislation, and
We have an amendment, is there a second? Amendment and second, any discussion?
Should there be a slash between and or? With a forward slash?
Are you making a motion, or?
Sure, I'm making a motion for the slash between and or.
Second.
Second. Oh. Slash or comma. Is there any objection?
There we go.
Hearing none, so ordered. We're back.
Chris Baldwin, SD 22.
Yes,
Make an amendment to the amendment.
what's your amendment?
F and or credits, comma, to assure that all children have access to quality education.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no.
Wait, it should be to ensure, not assure.
Repeat. Go to the mic.
Should be ensure instead of assure.
Hi, it's me again. I agree with all of y'all, and I hear all of your comments, but I have to follow the rules, so it has to be one person, and I only can do things that people are saying in motion.
JCM Mark, SD9, make a motion to change assure to ensure, and second.
Okay. Is there any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Go back to the motion to amend. All in favor of the plan as presented, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if you would return to one, please. The word, all federal statutes should be statutes.
Any objection? So moved. Okay, we are on number 4.
Faith Bussey, SD10.
Yes, Faith?
Yes.
Faith?
A motion. Madam Alex McCoy, SD7, I have a written, so there won't be any
Okay.
confusion. If she just type it in, that speed is along.
Am I not recognized? Sorry.
We're doing his written motion.
Yep.
This is the motion to amend. It's been seconded. Any discussion?
Faith Bussey, SD10, parliamentary inquiry. Would it be in order to make a motion to replace this with a different link?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to make a motion.
A different article for pipeline?
No.
We need to finish this, and then we'll move on to yours.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion on this as the final plan? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to replace number 4 with number 10, the property tax plank.
It was passed overwhelmingly.
5 that did not make the cut.
Do you have, are you gonna, do you have language you're gonna send it?
I can bring it in.
Mm-hmm. By one.
The supplemental rules that were adopted allowed for motions to replace, provided that the new resolution was one of the 10 that was submitted by the subcommittees. If you want to put up the supplemental rules again that were passed. Correct. The last supplemental rule was, once the final 5 votes are chosen, amendments will be in order at that time to include amendments by replacement from one of the 5 resolutions that did not make the cut. So this motion is in order.
May I please speak to my motion?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so on the Republican primary ballot, the property tax passed with 69.46% of the vote. That was over federal immigration and the abolishing of labor unions, or over the federal immigration. The Article 5 convention, I know that a lot of people want it, I know a lot of people don't. It's a very divisive issue. A majority of Republicans are on board with this. Dan Patrick is on board with this. The people who got their property tax bills in the mail are on board with this. We need relief, we need help. So can we please replace this?
Is there any more discussion to and replace?
I'd like to speak against adding the amendment. Alex McCoy, SD7. I think all 10 amendments are on the legislative radar as far as that we wanting to pass. This particular amendment came in behind the number 4 amendment here, so it's 2 down on the list. I think it's a little bit blatant to replace the number 4 amendment here that came in with 17 votes instead of 15 with a last minute change. I asked the delegates to vote against this substitution and keep one of the 5 top priorities of Governor Abbott in this list. Thank you.
Scott, I believe SD11 speaking for the substitution. I understand what the gentleman's saying. We did vote as a group, but keep in mind that we cast 5 votes. So when you limit it down to talking about these 2, now you have a different framed conversation. So in the example that I would like to make, in that spreadsheet, you may have had a lot of people who did not vote for Article 5 or property tax. So one of theirs got eliminated. And now they have a new choice between these 2. So it's in order, it's proper of this committee to make a different choice when faced with these 2 selections. Like Faith addressed here previously, it was on the referendum, it passed with a huge, large majority, and we're talking about the Article 5, which I have no ill will toward Article 5, but it is a evenly contested issue, and we're talking about something that we want to hold our legislators accountable to and put resources behind. And I think that is a difficult task to do when you have one constituent on one side wanting Article 5 and one constituent on the other side saying that they don't want Article 5 for anything.
So I think that the right vote here is to substitute property tax, which has wide support. And how much time do I have? I'll talk about it.
Just 30 seconds.
I'm good.
Okay, any more discussion to strike and replace?
SD 28.
For or against?
I'm against this substitution, SD 28 Brant O'Hare. In our subcommittee hearing, we had an overwhelming number of people supporting the Article 5 as opposed to against it.
Any more discussion?
How about our fellow SD 31? I'm speaking for the substitution. If I would have just held one of my votes, it would have tied for fifth, or could have, just one or two people holding their votes, it still would have been considered. The other reason I like this one is because it has a huge chance compared to the other one of getting through. There's already plans in place. There's people ready to vote for this. It's not divisive in our party at this time. It has a huge chance of passing on the floor later this week without much debate. So I highly recommend doing this. The other thing is, if we really want Article 5, and it doesn't get out of here tonight, we can talk to our SREC committees and make sure that they add it to the legislative priorities in the fall. Thank you.
Okay. We are maxed out on speaking for, striking and replacing. Does anybody want to speak against? Okay. I'm going to call for the vote to strike and replace this resolution. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
The ayes have it. Okay. All those in favor, raise your hand. Can you put your hands down? All those against, raise your hand. In favor and 12 against. Motion carries.
Very nice.
Alan Armello, SD 31. I'd like to make an amendment to this to start it with replacing.
Inserting a word replacing?
Take out everything up to replacing.
Replacing.
And change that to replace.
Is there a second?
Second.
Name and SD?
SB 16, Denise McNair.
Okay. We've got a motion and we've got a second. Any discussion? And a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. And now we're on number 5.
H. Scott Appley, SD 11. I'll state it as an amendment to start the conversation, and then we can decide how best to clean that up. As far as the end of this resolution, where it starts to say that, and request the Republican Party State Chair and the State Republican Executive Committee utilize reasonable party resources necessary to promote and support passage. I move to amend to cut that from that individual claim and move it as a concluding statement for the entire document.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Maybe I hereby finally resolve something.
Want to be specific on the wording?
Alan Arbello, SD 31, I make an amendment to the amendment to add, put the words in front of request. I just had it. We request, let's make sure. I think we would work fine.
About demand.
Inserting the word. Is there a second for this amendment to the amendment?
That's okay.
Is there any objection to just adding it? Hearing none, so ordered.
Alan Arbello, SD 31. I make an amendment to the amendment to strike the last sentence, starting with further.
Is there any objection? Hearing none.
Alan Arbello, SD 31. Make an amendment to the amendment to start this with the word pass. And remove all the words in front of that.
What?
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any objection? Okay.
Alan Arbello, SD 31. To stay grammatically correct, I make an amendment to the amendment to put the words "and to" in front of pass, since it's a list of 5 things.
If there's no objection,